Another day on the streets of Phnom Penh for Cambodian motorcycle taxi driver Chum Van. And another day spent worrying about corruption.
Corruption in my country has been getting worse every year, more and more in all aspects.
And his frustration is mounting.
It's a problem in traffic accidents. Drivers who have money, the police will back them, and they consider the driver without money as the one at fault.
Chum Van is not alone. The anti-corruption watchdog group Transparency International's 2012 Corruption Perception Index graded 176 countries on a scale of 0 to 100, with 0 being the most corrupt. More than two-thirds, including Cambodia, rated as moderately to highly corrupt. Transparency International's Huguette Lebel.
Those countries that are at the bottom are very often countries where human rights have been repressed, where you see civil conflicts, where you see failed states.
위대한 수령 기밀사
وجود داشت امسال هم وجود داره اما میزان فساد در سال گذشته
The scale of corruption this year is less comparing to the past 2 years when more financial aid was sent to Afghanistan.
Perhaps nowhere has the outcry about corruption been more visible than the Middle East, where millions took to the streets to topple regimes from Tunisia to Egypt to Libya. But while there have been changes at the top, little is changing on the ground. Distinguished scholar Robin Wright at the Woodrow Wilson Center says that's no surprise.
Bakshish is a concept that is central to the way of life in the Middle East. Bakshish being bribes. And that hasn't changed overnight with the introduction of democratic ideals or goals. A Libyan businessman said, we used to have one Gaddafi, now we have 6 million.
In Asia, where 68% of the countries are perceived as somewhat to highly corrupt, much publicized reforms in Burma have made little difference, the country ranking as the 5th most corrupt nation on the planet. In Europe, racked by an ongoing debt crisis, corruption rose in hard-hit countries like Greece and Italy, and remains a major problem in Russia. Corruption is a dilemma even for countries rated as very clean. The United States, for example, is ranked as the 19th least corrupt country, but it still has plenty of exposure to corruption. Some U.S. allies and major trading partners like China rank much lower. Alan Larson is with Transparency's U.S. office.
It is clear that corruption is a threat to democratic institutions all around the world.
In many parts of the world, it is the small businesses that corruption hurts most. At this small clothing shop in Abuja, Nigeria, Ukudi Nawa says the situation makes her feel sick.
It makes me spend more, and then most of the times the customers don't even get to understand. You know, like you charge and they're like, why are you charging so much?
A frustration shared by many that's not likely to go away anytime soon. Jeff Seldin, VOA News, Washington.